decided to edit this one. I haven't prepped it really, but there's some ideas running through my head, so. Dear future Jason. Dear future Jason. You are sitting now, in this current moment, you're sitting on stairs. I gotta get past. It takes me a couple minutes at the beginning to get past the idea of someone else is watching this, because there's a way you talk when other people are listening, and there's a way you talk when certain people are listening, and there's a way you talk when you're by yourself. And so what I'm trying to coax out of me here is the me that can almost forget about the fact that I pointed a camera at myself to try to keep myself in history somehow. I think that's the first bullet point of why I want this to become a habit. I want to talk to myself for at least 15 minutes a day like this. I want to corral some memories and express them and throw them into the future. To be able to just remember things. One of the things I considered talking about today, if a whole theme was needed, was struggles with mental health stuff. I saw a friend of mine from the past that had kind of come out on Facebook as having personality disorder and mental health problems and trauma and brain related things, and the beginning was a little this is what I'm coming out. I don't need to say it like that. I can't stand it anymore, basically, was the beginning. So I think there was a trigger to something that he's feeling a little rough, and I think I'll reach out to him after this. I think that would mean something. Also, just kind of, I guess, talk about my own it's like a blockade. I suppose it these days, being trans is not seen as a mental disorder, but when I was going through it, first time I learned about myself in the way that was always there, but didn't have no words were attached to it yet. I was home sick from school. 11 or 12, I guess. No. 15 or 16, maybe. Well, I'd been, if you've ever seen Ready Player One, my avatar online was male, and then I was being perceived as a girl, and it fit right in a way that I didn't expect it to fit right. Being Jason, having I talk so much in my head that talking out loud, I'm like, wait, what was the last word you said, and stuff like that. And so not being able to remember the last words that I say sometimes makes me want to do these videos, because I want to be able to remember stuff. And sometimes, most of the time, I'm not this monotoned thing. I was just, I'm talking about mental health, so I wanted to not make light of it in any way that can be taken by somebody that sees this and be like, this guy does this. He said blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, nobody's friends with me. Is that how that works? It's like the public shuns you on the internet. You get all these. I don't know. Okay, so 6 minutes. Back to mental health. I just don't know how far to go back. I don't need to give people. One of the things about the main thing, this is trans stuff. That's whatever. Dissociative, gender identity disorder was a thing when I was younger, and I got diagnosed as it, and I took the steps to fix it, and everything's great. Like, I wish I did my tea on time more often, because there have been, as soon as I get it, I've got a schedule now, but there was a time when I was on time with my tea shot. I've been injecting, performing, performing on yourself, I guess. Performing tea shots, taking hormone replacements, doing blah, 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 right? Increasing my testosterone rate to a point of a male. Like, it's just a shot. Morning has my morning bell. Ding, 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 ding. 9 a.m. Time to start the mornings. All right. Ding, 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 ding. Alrighty. Time to start the mornings. My little morning bell went off and went ding, 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 ding. And then now it's 9 o'clock. And so I've been experimenting with 3-hour increments during the day. So a little bit of backstory is that I work from home. I just moved to Pennsylvania, about 8 hours from where I'm from. I live in the country. I'm in the country. Country to the point where the guy 2 doors down was born on our living room floor. Like, and helped build these 3 houses and stuff. Country to the point where we could have a bonfire and not get a permit. We're gonna have chickens. We compost. Like, country to the point where I think that the county we live in was purple, and then I moved here and now it's blue. You're welcome. Country to the point where this is starting the whole thing. I don't know. It's country. It's like the parts of New York where I'm from. The Sydney, Bainbridge, Delhi, Binghamton area. That's where my parents and my grandparents have always lived. And then I moved for college to Rochester and stayed there for 10 years. And so 10 years is, that's where my adult life has been thus far. And then now I'm in PA, about 40 minutes outside of Philly, Westchester area. It's a good environment. I like it. And now I work from home, and I'm trying to establish a new market for the things that I do and am and buy and want, and how can I bring my passion, something that doesn't make me want to die every day. How do I do that? How do I make that and stuff? So, when I was 12, is when I came out as trans to myself. I named myself after the red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger because he was my man. He was like, I was like, this is great. Yeah. And it wasn't like I had the language. I didn't say I'm trans or hey mom, I'm trans or anything like that. It was just an inside thing of like, these clothes are the clothes that I want to wear, and these I don't want to grow up to be a girl, a woman. I don't want to be a mom. I don't, and all of these narratives that are being shown to me for womanhood, even not even just the stereotypical ones that you could feel good about rejecting, just like anything. There was no inkling in me. But then when I saw a father or thought about a father, I wanted to be like that. And it was that was the point where I was like, I had the desire to go, like, we at 12 o'clock or 12 years old, the AOL had just come out. It was like, you've got mail, and it was just a web browser that you had the internet on. Like, it only existed in one tab, if you will. And there were little chat rooms that you could go in, and that's where I got this. I just thought it was so cool that you could talk to people from like fucking wherever, right? So I loved chat rooms. I liked it when a group of people picked up on each other's like text language and could have really great conversations, and like we'd meet on chat rooms at like 9 o'clock and just be like almost like a little group date, but we're just chilling in there. So AOL chat rooms led way to when I was, so I don't know, dude. dates and shit like that. That's for future Jason, who's writing the book. The first book is called 39 Houses, and it's about moving around so often and what it's taught me and what languages I feel like I know now, and some experiences along the way, because I've met so many people. And sometimes I don't think I was meant to. I was like meant to, but wasn't meant. I wasn't designed to, but I was meant to. I grew up in really small town countries and stuff like that. Places where, you know, where the racist people from Facebook they probably live in their real life. Like, it's yeah. So the house that I'm in now is 39th house. Now I feel like I have 3 conversations started. I had mental health from before the alarm bell, and then I had, yeah, the Instagram video stopped. So you have an extra 6 minutes ahead. YouTube has 13 seconds right now, and Instagram has 6 minutes. So YouTube's getting the longer video at the beginning, and Instagram's getting the longer video at the end. There you go. I want to save all these memories. If you've seen Black Mirror, it's like I want to be able to record through my eyes so that I can go back and see, because how many times I've been gaslit into believing that the entire situation was this way. I knew I was going through life and everything. I was like, okay, yeah, you're not being a jerk. I feel like that's something constantly in my head is like, are you a jerk? Which swings around to the, geez, have I started like 6 conversations? Swings around to the mental health thing. Here's your ADD. Coming out right in front of you. It's like performing a party trick. What were we talking about? It's like driving in reverse and trying to look at, it's trying to like remember, did I pass the McDonald's yet? Did I pass the McDonald's? I passed to this, I passed to this. What turn should I have taken to keep us on the topic that I had started? Mental health's big. Mental health is it's something that now that I'm in this 39th house, and we keep joking and saying that we're dying here, and saying that has been great because having a life of such impermanence has been like, it's been weird. And the more I get to know other people, the more I realize that it changes you in a way that it's like you can't unring a bell. You know these things. You have this knowledge, and you're seeing the world, and the world hasn't seen the things you've seen. Not that they haven't seen things, but they haven't seen the things you've seen. They haven't created the patterns you've created. I mean, everybody. I get it. But multiply anything that you would find in a stable environment with never having lived in the same place. That's a lot. I think two of the 39 places I lived for a second year. So the first year is pretty much like you go through the seasons, and then it's almost, you don't even get to go through the seasons again. Like, so we moved around a lot as, oh no, it's YouTube. I don't know how long a YouTube video can go. I gotta watch Instagram because it can only go 15 minutes. This ADD stuff, and it's really gonna teach me how to consolidate thoughts into 15-minute segments. Okay. Maybe I'll just switch to writing for a little bit. The morning bell just went off. Kind of touching on the morning stuff. I know last time we talked about seasons of the day. So a morning bell just went off. So mornings are when I really try to pack in self-care and self-stuff. Like if I want to write on my book, if I want to write poems, if I want to do art, if I want to do yoga, I try to do exercise every morning, try to drink coffee every morning. It kind of, gives me a little go, as everybody who drinks coffee knows. Okay, what do we got? 10. So we have 5 minutes left. Now I gotta figure out what topic I was talking about that I'd like to finish talking about. 12 years old, went online. It was like, that's why I got confused about the chronology. 9, 10, that's the internet comes out. 12, we're Mormon at this point. My mom has decided we should be Mormon. She saw a commercial and she liked it, and then we met Mormons and she said, I always wanted to be Mormon, and boom, we had Mormon missionaries on our doorstep. That's the story. So we're Mormon, which is an added level of my mom trusts me online because the only site I go on is Latter-day Saints chat, LDS chat. And so I go in there, and I remember going in there with my ASL, age, sex, location, as mine. That's what, I guess 13, 12, 13, F, and Y. And it didn't feel like the next time I went on, I think my mom had gone next door to hang out with our neighbors. We called them our aunts and uncles, and they would hang out and stuff. So I would stay home and be online. And online, I was in the chat room, and I went in as, I just switched the F to an M. And what follows would have been the season finale of Catfish. I dated a couple girls across the country. I dated a girl from Colorado, a snowboarder. Go figure. Burton Angel was her tag name. And not that I only talked to girls that were across country, but it was convenient that the one that I became really close to, like we would talk off of the chat room, as like we'd start texting, like we were friends. And I don't really know what dating as an online persona is, especially when you're 13 and the internet's new. I have no idea. But then I then I got to know and really just fell in love with the personality and of this girl from Hanover, Pennsylvania. And that was only 4 hours from me. And so I started creating up. I just started lying so hard. Like I would say I moved to England or something. Like I would be the season finale of that show Catfish. It was, now I'm picturing it more like Ready Player One. But when my mom found out, she was like, hey, we can talk about the gender stuff. With this situation, I'm only mad about the fact that you've been kind of lying to people, and I don't really know how to reconcile that because of what you're going through. So we sat on the floor and cried, and I was like, Mom, like, I feel like this. I feel like a boy, like always, outside, inside. With the internet, there was a separation, really, of my outside life and my inside life, of my chat room persona person and me. And it was like, this is where I felt like I could just talk. And in person, it felt like I was always doing something wrong, not doing it right, or that's just when it came to like this gender thing, you know. So that's a big deal. Something that everyone else knew, so sure, or I think they do. I didn't know, and so it just gave me a little boo. And then I was online. My mom found out, and she printed me out like a pack of papers. I'm running out of time on Instagram. I'm gonna do a part 2 because I think that we're going in a really good spot right now. And whether this helps with my book or helps somebody, you know, feel not see, you'll see next week. Okay, so this is part 2. I definitely encourage you to watch part 1. Instagram, sorry for or YouTube. Hey, sorry for the. I have 2 phones going on because Instagram's up this way, and YouTube is this way. YouTube is landscape. Instagram is portrait, and I happen to have 2 phones at this moment. So, okay, this one's 22 minutes and 40 seconds. This one is just started from the last one. I wouldn't recommend listening to this one if you haven't listened to the last one, period. So, my mom prints me out like, basically, the Bible's thick of information from PFLAG and Transnet and stuff like that. Apparently, she told her best friend, and her best friend was like, you can do this, you can be there. You know what I mean? Like, it was really important, I think, for my mom to have someone she could talk to that didn't judge her or didn't was right there with her, like cared about me as much. You know what I mean? And she Googled "my daughter wants to be my son," and came up with PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, and TNet, which is their trans network. And then, yeah, she printed me out a bunch of stuff about being transgender and what it was. And the last time I had heard about transgender, so like this is the good time. This is the good. My mom's like, hey, I think you might be trans. And I was like, dude, hit the nail on the head. Thanks for not making me wait another like 3 or 4 years in this shame bubble. You were like, I mean, it was there. We were popping it. But giving me that power, those words, and not in a way that I had heard of it before, which was being home alone, sick at home from school, and watching daytime TV. And the daytime TV was Jerry Springer, where this entire crowd of people is being led by this man to talk about the fact that this guy had been pretending to be a boy in their relationship, and he was coming out as having been female on Jerry Springer. And the way that the crowd and the way that his partner and the way everyone reacted was like, oh, this is, what? You're crazy, you should have fucking told her. And I'm like, yeah, but the way that it's just, not yeah, but not about the story. It was just the manner of which I was told what people thought about trans people. The other time I heard about trans people, or the first time I heard about a trans woman, was Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. You know what I'm talking about. When the football player transitions and then commits a crime, and nobody knew it was them till the end, and then when it's revealed that person, that they're the same person, all the men who had slept with this woman started puking. So those are the two times that I learned about trans stuff before I got to come out as trans by my mom was like, not that she caught me. I don't even know how that happened. I think I told her because, like I said, I fell in love with this girl, Julie. And I'm pretty sure right now she's married to the son of Mitt Romney. Not even kidding. I'm not kidding. Or maybe they just have the same last name. I don't know. And so I wanted to meet her. Like, it's love. It's like first love, right? And so I wanted to meet this girl, and I'm caught up in all these lies that I've had to tell so that we didn't meet, because we were a weekend trip. I've driven all the way to Rochester, 8 hours to see. You're not going to have somebody that you have this strong of a connection with and not come see them. So, I added in my actual self to this storyline of lies, which sucks. And then when I went on my 10th grade class trip to Hershey Park, I coordinated a meeting, and me and her friends and my friends hung out at Hershey Park. And it was like, someone I met off the internet at Hershey Park. back when it was like, don't talk to strangers. And it was awesome. We really clicked. It was hard I was being so awkward. It was hard to be me and know her and be in public and be with my friends who don't even know anything about transness, and her friends who's probably like, that kid's weird. Right? We planned for her and her friend to drive up from Hanover, Pennsylvania to Monticello, New York, where I was living, and pick me up. And I would go down there and spend a week in Pennsylvania. And so I said yes because I love her. And and I don't honestly know what I thought was going to happen. I was somewhere between 15 and 16, and I, for all intents and purposes, am a boy until someone looks at me and tells me that I'm not. And I am in love with this girl. I've talked to her every day, all day. Like, basically, every time I got home from school, we would talk and hang out and talk after dinner and before we went to bed. And it was awesome. And where am I in the story? So she comes and picks me up. And when she gets to my house, she's not stupid. My mom sounds exactly like my aunt does, what Jason's aunt does. And my sister sounds like his cousin. And hey, there's all of this stuff that you've talked to me about forever, and it's here in this house. And she even tried to pay Gabby, my little sister, $20 to just tell her that we were the same people. And they slept over at our house, knowing all of this information, and then took me home with them. Drove me 4 hours back to Hanover, And we're at her house, nice, lovely Mormon house, and nobody's home. And she hands me a glass of tap water, like water, just in general. And I'm drinking it. And she says, "I thought you didn't like tap water." And I don't remember at this point ever basically she was like, you can basically tell me who you are, I guess. You can, like, you are that person to me and you can relax. I didn't know how to explain it to her. I didn't know. I told her some stories about my childhood that really stood out to me when it came to gender. And those were the times when I thought that I knew that that I was boy. And those were those times. But I didn't know the word transgender. I didn't know that I wasn't just, like, I wanted her to know that I wasn't just playing a prank. I wasn't a troll. I wasn't leading her on in her emotions or anything like that. And so we had a good week, actually. It was like it was beautiful. We went canoeing down the Gunpowder River with her three brothers, and her dad, and her and I went canoeing down the Gunpowder, and I'd never done anything like that. It was so fun. I jumped out of it at one point to get $1. There was $1 at the bottom of the creek, and we were dry. I jumped out and got the $1, got back in, and I was covered in water. So yeah, she drives me home. Her and her mom drive me home, and it's a rainy day. It was quiet car ride all the way home, and then it was a rainy day, and I remember they asked me a lot of questions at dinners about Jason and about whether he was real and what was going on and stuff like that. I don't remember how I answered. But she drove me back up to Hanover, or to Monticello. It was rainy. It was in September, because she went away to school, BYU, about 2 weeks later. And we didn't talk as much as we did when I got home. You could tell it was different. It was like at one point it was okay because it was me and stuff like that, and we'd been through so much stuff, but and then it was like all of the lies that I had told, because I was like panicking and being like, you can't come see me and what's gonna happen and stuff. All those lies kind of just ruined the relationship, which they should have. The trust was broken. So, and then plus she's a straight cisgendered Mormon girl at not a very progressive time of trans history, if you will, and not a very good time of my history either, I think. I was just a little girl at the time. So she goes to BYU and she talks to her new bishop, and everything's kind of weighing on her, so she tells him the whole story, and he recommends that put a little space between us and maybe don't talk again. Like, it's okay to set me down and us to go on our separate ways. That the lies that had happened, not just the gender lie, not that, but the dumb lies about like moving to England and like my family dying. I don't know. It's like I got stuck in a pathological, like, nothing, this isn't real, so nothing's real, and I just pathologically lied to the people that I cared about. And I didn't become me, but male. I became me. I became this weird story, like a fictional story. Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Why did we get to we're talking about transitioning, right? So that's about the time that situation. Telling my mom about that situation was what sparked us. You know, she's not upset about the gender stuff. She's upset about the lying stuff. And she gave me this information about being trans, and it was life changing. It was life changing. It set down a lot of the anxieties that I had in me. I mean, I had to pick up new ones. I had to pick up the male ones now. Like, I got to set down like some of the female ones. I got to set down the I don't know about my gender stuff, but I picked up the male ones, and so it's like now I'm behind in the game too. Like, I don't understand the way that boys have grown up playing. I don't understand. I understand the way I grew up playing, and I understand the way that some boys grew up playing, and I wonder if I would have been into, like, who would I be if I was cisgender? Like, that's a question. I can't answer that. And I think that's why a lot of people that have the peace in themselves and that are like, I'm trans and I transitioned and then I'm here. The here feeling, like the things that you've laid down when you get there is wanting to be cisgender. It's that idea of, if there were a magic pill, would you take it and wake up having been born male but not, you know what I mean? Like, if it could be a pill and it's like, boom, now you're male, and everything is the same as it was before. Your life hasn't changed. It's like time travel type shit, right? But if the pill is, would you have been wanting to have been born male and never have gone through the socialization that comes with having a vagina? Like, you're a vagina owner. Here's your vagina. Here's your pink hat. Here's your, here's your impending biological time clock. Here's your periods, tampons with luxury tax. Here's your making less money than men. Here's the shit of being a woman, but here's motherhood. And here's, I don't know what women like about themselves. Like, is it fun that you're like, hey, my boobs are growing? You know what I mean? Mine was like, fuck, my boobs are growing. Like, I used to sit, as a kid, I'd climb up on the little seat, the step stool over the sink, and I would be shirtless with my towel around my waist after a shower, door still shut, and I'd do, like, Home Alone, and I would, like, flex my muscles and stuff like that, and brush my teeth, and sing and dance and stuff, and then when I could run around outside. Like, we used to go to Kentucky, and there were so many kids around. Like, we would all just hang out for like a week or something in Kentucky, and there'd be so many kids from the parents that were hanging out that they'd hook the hose up to the sink in the basement in the hot water, like warm water, and they brought the hose out, and we would line up in our underwear, and the adults would go down a line, and one would spray all of them. The very next one would scrub them down, and then help them scrub down, and then the next one, it would go like this way, scrub down, and then this way with the hose, spraying everybody off. Like, we're like a fucking car wash. The Industrial Revolution, it's bathing in mass. But I was shirtless. I don't know. I was shirtless until I couldn't be. And then when I couldn't be, my body became the cage that my clothes were like, you know the feeling. My shirts started laying on me funny. Like, they would rub right here more often, and then it was like there's this hanging thing here. Like, there was, I think I have it now because I gained a little weight eating some cheese, but there's like the shadow of your shirt. Like, I wanted my shirts to fit like I had a little tech line. And I got these whoop, right, and the and the fuck. I'm 18, I'm at 18. I gotta stop this and start again. We're gonna do a 3-part episode. Fuck me. Instagram. Well, I'm definitely keeping it on YouTube. We're at 40 minutes, but yeah, I'll make a map for YouTube where I don't know what 20 minutes will go. Fuck. I'll have to edit this one. Okay, well, I'm gonna shut it off. You're at 41. Where do I look here? There's your eyes. Where are your eyes? I've been looking over here the whole time. I'm trying to leave you now. Alright. I feel like the number of people that are gonna watch, like if this is watched by people that are not me later, who is watching 41 minutes of me talk? Should we do a YouTube part 2? Because I kind of want to finish the part about transitioning. And then mental health. Dude, started with mental health. My eyes are over here, see? It's because I'm looking at myself in the camera and the thing is over there. So there's one camera and then a screen. And then over here, upward, chilling on I'll take a picture. I'm gonna put that on Instagram. And then I'm losing my light too, so. Okay, I'm gonna stop you at 45. Hey YouTube. So I'm gonna actually work on YouTube right after this and post this as the first video. There's a couple videos that I can't post yet because they're too big. I gotta get a little timer, maybe like an egg timer. Wonder if I could get a sand timer that runs for 14 minutes. A little beeper. I'm already using you for YouTube, and I'm using this one for Instagram videos, so that I can say the same thing sometimes on 2 different platforms, because let's be honest, nobody really follows me. It's okay. No, that's a lie. That is a lie. Yesterday I posted my first Instagram video because the first 2 were too long. One was 40 minutes, one was 25. You can only put 15. My third one was 15. Finally learned it. And like when I last looked, 560 people had watched it. And like having worked for FTM magazine and knowing that thousands of people can watch a thing, having 560 people watch it, just knowing that like somebody watched it. But like the overall goal is not to have people watch it. That's why I don't know that I'll really advertise it a lot, except for on my Facebook and my Instagram and my YouTube. So like I'm never gonna buy monetary ads. This isn't like I'm trying to make money off of this, because it pisses me off when I'm trying to read an article and there's a video advertisement pop-up thing, and then I'm scrolling through this article, and it's like every paragraph you have to pay for, like, or not pay for, but they're getting paid for every paragraph that they've written, because they write one paragraph and then give you two ad block bars and then another paragraph. And like, how do you really want to read that article that bad that you now have to figure out which text stuff is an ad and which text stuff is the article that this person wrote? It's fucking ridiculous. Honestly. Okay, 45 minutes. I'm gonna go put this on YouTube. Peace